This is Bree from Salt Lake here, back again with another dissection. I know it's been a while, but I really wanted to do this one. This is the one-off single entitled End It All. I released 2 months ago in about March 1st actually. And this one is a very interesting one that I want to dissect because as you can see, it's mostly green, which means that it's mostly MIDI. In fact, the entire instrumental is MIDI, and there's a reason for that, which I'll get into. But this particular song was all about kind of pushing my boundaries in the production aspects and trying to really convey what I wanted to say through the music as opposed to the lyrics, which is something I always put first, but especially so in this song. So I wrote this song on my spring break whenever I came home from Capitol, and I didn't bring home my electric guitar because I thought I wasn't going to be recording anything. There's no need to. Well, something happened, and long story short, I was really upset, and I was like, I need to record something now, but I didn't have my guitar, so I decided to make this a completely electronic ordeal. So we're just gonna go through because this has some pretty cool aspects and stuff that I did to kind of make it sound neat. So we'll give it a little listen to some sections where things are important, and then I'll break it down for you. So that's the basic beginning, and then we have this. Right. And we obviously have the big ending here. Right. So just some cool things that I did here. As you can see, I have the electric piano kind of drives the song. Then I have the electronic drums. Then I have 2 bass tracks, which I can explain later why I have 2. Then I have this cool thing called Ren Womper, which is something that I found that kind of provides the noise in the background. Excuse me. And then we have the acoustic kit, quote unquote, and then my vocals. So I think we should start with where I started, which was just this electric piano riff, which I'm gonna take everything off of it, and it's just sounded like, well, these were here. It just sounded like this. So it's literally just those 2 chords over and over again. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to add a little warbly effect. So I brought up my Isotope Vinyl plugin, which is perfect. And these are my settings. Usually if I'm throwing it on, I usually try to get the more ambient noise, but not for this. I simply wanted the warp so that it kind of warped a little bit up and down, so it's not necessarily consistent. So with that, you can hear it sounds a little warbly and a little bit like it's kind of just like wavering along. And then I added my reverb, which is on bus 5, which is an H reverb from Waves. I genuinely think it's just a default reverb. And that gives you that sound. So that's the electric piano. It does that the entire time. As you can see, I had the original here, and then I just looped it forever. This initial drum part, I originally was going to make it all electronic drums, like the little kit there, but then I decided I needed more power later in the song, but I'll show you that later. So I have my kick, snare, hi-hat, and percussion, and together it all sounds like. So I really like these kind of like, no. These kind of clicks and pops. And so I decided to keep that running throughout the entire song. But this was the main beat. And I guess I had toms in here, but I ended up not. Is there even a note over here? Yeah, there's one note over here. But yeah. So I wanted that part to be electronic. Excuse me. But then whenever I wanted the song to kind of explode, I was like, nah, I need something more powerful. So I went to my VD Solid with heavily compressed VD Solid. And I'm sending that to bus 5, which is also that reverb, and then bus 11, which is just another parallel compressor. You can see it's all the way down. And if you don't know what parallel compression is, it's taking a signal, sending it to another bus, and just completely squashing it with a compressor, so that it kind of brings out more of the hits and kind of makes it feel stronger. So if I were to solo this and the compressor, the parallel compression, and just bring it up, you can hear how it affects it. Right. So it definitely brings some boom to it, but I wanted to kind of have that really just like free flowing sound to it. Right. And then I really like the fact that I gave this part over here, whenever it kicks back into the verse, kind of a swing. I decided to swing it. Because one thing I've been working really hard on is making my program drum parts sound as human as possible, because that's something that I kind of struggled with. But since I can't really play drums all too well, I mean I kind of can, but I don't have the tools to record it myself. Program drums have always been kind of my jam, and making sure that they sound as natural as possible has always been my game. So I think this is the closest I've gotten so far in something that I've released to like a natural sounding drum. We'll hear that again. Yeah. And then I'm not sure what I was doing with this fill. Right, so that's a little bit of the drum sounds for you. Just heavily compressed, heavily squashed, some reverb on it, nothing too horrible. Now these basses are stuff that I really wanted to kind of emphasize. So this is called the deep wave bass. These are all pretty much Logic presets. And you can hear already, this is already a pretty like heavy sounding bass. And also, cool thing is I had it in the verse duck to the kick. So every time the kick came in, it kind of ducked down, so it gave the kick some room and a little bit more of a pop out, so that you can kind of feel it more. And you can feel that when you're listening to this part. And so you're asking, why is there a second bass? Well, I wanted it to be really, really distorted. So you can see there's already a lot of stuff on this preset, but I decided to just add a little more of an overdrive and a chorus onto it, just to really drive home. So it kind of stereoizes it a bit more and gives it a lot more oomph. You can see it's playing the same exact thing as the verse, but it definitely feels heavier, which is all I wanted, because for these choruses I just really wanted to pop. So one of the most interesting things I did was the addition of this noise level here, especially it's in this right here, in this kind of break in the song, and at the end especially. And it's something that is from Biotech, which is something I got from Avid, because I'm a subscriber to Pro Tools, because I use that to mix. So I wanted to test out some of the things on there, and so I decided to go on to Biotech and check out some of the noise sounds they have, and I saw this Wren Whomper, and I was like, okay, this is cool, what is this? And so if you take off all the stuff that I have, it just sounds like this, which still sounds pretty cool. But for me, that was a bit too like high end and a bit too just like, it stuck out too much. And so I decided to add an overdrive, which kind of muffled it a little, chorus, and the distortion. So you can kind of hear that kind of gives it noise. And obviously I'm setting it to a reverb. And you can see that kind of trails off even though it's done. But this ending as well, you can see here, or my automation has it so that it's kind of quieter, but here I just let it go full unity gain. And so I really wanted this ending to be like one big mess, because that's how I was feeling, not to be cliche, but I wanted it to be a big mess of stuff that you couldn't really distinguish it. And so I feel like that kind of helped, because without it, it's just the same. Which is fine. It sounds fine, but I really wanted this extra layer. Right. Hopping over the vocals, I had two vocals here. I had one that I the vocals track I recorded upstairs in my room because no one was around. But the scream vocals, I had to go downstairs into my basement and record it that way. And I was crying through most of these vocal takes, I'm warning you. So, here's no. Here's that. Too many times I felt your So I had this going to a different reverb. I had this going to bus 10, which is a Space Designer by Logic, and I have one of my favorite reverbs they offer is called Space Com. It's in their large spaces, warped spaces, Space Com. It gives this kind of like real big tail, and it kind of has a delay, so it almost feels as if the vocals or whatever you put it on lingers. So go past, but and also I sent it to a tape delay, not full unity gain, just a little tape delay. Separated is just so that I could do more takes. Okay, so that's that on the vocals, and then on the screamy vocals, apparently I tried to see what it would sound like to send it to a distortion send. Which would have been cool, but I felt like it got just a little too muddy for my taste. And I send it to another reverb, lo-fi reverb, or is it from that H reverb by Waves? So I'm sorry to keep you waiting. My soul is yours for taking. And like, it was just being recorded on my SM57 clone, so I had no pop filter, no nothing, and I was just sitting there just screaming into the mics. That's why it sounds so like messy, because it was ripping the skin from my bones and I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Right. So like the point of this song was not to be clean. It most certainly wasn't any like clean song or anything. It was just like, we're gonna make a song, it's gonna be messy, it's gonna be loud, it's gonna be electronic, and we're gonna make it because I'm feeling this intensely. And so basically this song was all about making sure that I could get across what I wanted to get across without the use of my guitar. What is happening? Without the use of my guitar that I so dearly love and rely on saltlick songs. But I think this was a good change of pace. I don't know. What do you think? I enjoyed it. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll probably have another one of these up soon. What song? I'm not too sure. But, thanks for watching. Thanks for being so interested in what I have to offer in terms of production techniques, because this is kind of my job, and I really enjoy showing people what I have to do, because it shouldn't be a mystery. So, thanks.